Well, yesterday was a rough day for Zach Wilson and the Jets offense as they lost 15-10 to the New England Patriots. Zach was 18 of 36 for 157 yards, but 110 of those yards came in the fourth quarter. And I'm kind of at a loss for words after that game because I don't know what happened. The first two games of the season, Zach didn't light the world on fire, but he looked like a different player than last year. However, yesterday he looked like the Zach Wilson we saw as things were falling apart last season. I think Zach Rosenblatt of The Athletic actually made a good point yesterday. He said that it seems like the Jets don't trust Zach, and because they don't trust him, then he doesn't trust himself. And so they're both kind of holding each other back. For example, the Jets kept running the ball on first down and then running or throwing on second down. However, the running game never got going. So that meant that Zach kept being faced with second and third and long situations. And when every single time you throw the ball, you're being relied on to convert a first down, it puts a lot of pressure on you. However, when you can slowly get the yardage in chunks, then it's a lot easier and there's not as much pressure on you. For example, in the fourth quarter, when they finally let him throw on first down, he instantly led the Jets down the field and scored a touchdown on an 87-yard drive. So what's frustrating to me is that he clearly has the talent, but it's just not translating on the field. And I certainly don't think the play calling helped Zach yesterday, but there were also people open that he could have thrown to. He also seemed to bail from the pocket a little early as well, something that I thought he has been better at in preseason and the first two games. But I will say this, when you're evaluating game film, it's not always as simple as that guy's open, throw it there. There are progressions that you go through. Just because someone's open at a certain point doesn't mean Zach could have thrown it to him, because he may have been looking somewhere else. But he still didn't play very well, and it seems like this always happens against the Patriots. Maybe Zach just gets in his head before every Patriots game because of what has happened in the past and plays scared. I don't know. Robert Saleh said after the game that the Jets will be sticking with Wilson as their starting quarterback going forward, despite pretty much everyone begging for a change. And I think it's a tough situation because there really aren't that many options out there. Another thing that's important to remember is that this is a different situation than last year. He's already been benched multiple times. They already brought in another quarterback to replace him. So if they decide to go another direction at quarterback, it's not like they're giving up on him. He's the backup quarterback. They already chose to go a different direction. So it's not the same as pulling the starter. Now, obviously, as a fan and homer myself, I would love for them to stick with Wilson and for him to figure things out. But it's not going to get any easier for him. Their next game is in prime time against the Chiefs, and that just seems like a disaster waiting to happen. So I think they can still figure things out and win games with him as their quarterback, but not without a running game, which has been pretty much non-existent to start the season. So we'll just have to see how things go over this week and the coming weeks and see if they do end up going a different direction. If they bring in a quarterback, we'll see what happens. But man, yesterday was rough.